This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. A Winnipeg woman died at St. Boniface Hospital after waiting almost 12 hours in the emergency room on 2 separate occasions. Her family believes the death was preventable and are still waiting to find out the exact cause. CBC's Mike Arsenault has that story.
I like that.
Morgan Ross and her aunt, Sherry Ross, are reminiscing about the good times they had with Morgan's mother, Stacy. Stacy died last month after waiting for hours to be admitted to a room in St. Boniface Hospital. Her sister Sherry says Stacy went to the hospital in early January with chest pains and a bad cough.
And she sat there for 12 hours. They sent her home she sat there all night. They sent her home in the morning with no medication and said she was fine.
Sherry says Stacy's symptoms progressed. She even went to her family doctor twice, but didn't get any answers. On January 15th, she was taken to the hospital again, this time in an ambulance. She waited in the emergency room again for almost 12 hours before being admitted to a room. Morgan says even though her mother's condition was declining, she was optimistic.
The second last thing she said to us is, "Do not cry, Morgan, I'll be okay," and that they will fix me. Those were her exact words.
Less than an hour later, Morgan's mother, Stacy, died. Sherry says the doctors found pneumonia in Stacy's lungs and she was septic. The family believes Stacy's death was preventable.
Nobody gave her antibiotics. Nobody said maybe we should do a CT scan. Like, nothing was done. And she advocated for herself. She really tried. Like, she knew she wasn't well, but nobody did anything.
Health Minister Uzoma Azaguara offered their condolences to the family and says a critical investigation is underway to understand what happened. They say their government established a dedicated team to address long wait times and healthcare system improvements in an effort to take some pressure off of the emergency department. The family is waiting for an autopsy report to find out the exact cause of death. Morgan says her mom should still be here.
I hope no one ever has to go through the pain my mom did, and with the sorrow that my family has to live with now.
The Winnipeg Regional Health Authority says it's been in touch with the family to offer support, and they'll be involved in the review process surrounding Stacy's death. Mike Arsenault, CBC News, Winnipeg.
An emotional start to the inquest into the police shooting of Eishia Hudson. The 16-year-old was killed almost 6 years ago after police responded to a liquor store robbery by a group of teens. Eishia's father, William, wiped away tears in court today as he spoke of his daughter and how she'll be remembered. CBC's Ian Fraze was in the courtroom.
Almost 6 years ago, grief brought this grieving father to the area where his daughter, Eishia Hudson, was killed by police. On Monday, that emotion was on full display as the inquest into her death begins.
It's just painful just listening to the experience of the family and just hearing the hurt and the pain.
In the spring of 2020, 16-year-old Hudson was shot and killed by police following a high-speed pursuit in which police say she was driving a stolen vehicle that was involved in a liquor store robbery. The 4-week inquest is expected to hear from responding police officers and witnesses. This process isn't about assigning guilt, but rather examine the circumstances surrounding Hudson's death and identify systemic issues. The family did not speak to reporters Monday, but the Assembly of Manitoba chief says the inquest must center Hudson as a young person whose life mattered.
There is definitely going to be recommendations that the family is wanting to see change.
Manitoba's Independent Investigation Unit did not recommend charges against the officer who shot Hudson. A Winnipeg MP wants a shake-up to the police watchdog.
I don't think former police officers, people that are involved in the system, are an impartial voice. If you're going to have a third-party oversight, it needs to be impartial.
Court watched Monday as Hudson's family spoke about their loss. Her father, William, wiping tears from his eyes, says his daughter's memory will serve as a reminder that young lives are precious and deserve to be protected. Ian Fraze, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Two Toronto area financiers who defrauded hundreds of investors of $31 million were sentenced this morning to 5 years in prison. Joad Rathor and Vince Petroza were also fined $12 million each. They are former executives of Fortress Real Developments. An Ontario court found they inflated the value of mortgages placed on the Sky City condo tower proposed for downtown Winnipeg and a mixed-use project in Barrie, Ontario. After their sentences are over, Rathor and Petroza have 10 years to pay their fines. If they don't, they face another 5 years in custody. Their lawyer intends to appeal. A Winnipeg man was shocked when his preliminary property assessment went up by nearly $200,000. Now he's dreading having to dispute the value of his home again. CBC's Gavin Axelrod has more.
Jeremy Dias was shocked to find the proposed 2027 property assessment for his Charleswood home go up by almost $200,000.
I'm dying to know why the city had this valuation. Like, what are you thinking that my house is like? What do you know that I don't know?
Dias plans to dispute the assessment. In 2024, he worked with the city to bring down the assessed value of his home from $500,000 to $400,000. He's also previously appealed to the Board of Revision, but Dias says it wore him down.
Frankly, like, it requires hours. Like, we have to take photos of our home, we have to document everything that we've done or not done, any sort of damage or anything that needs to be repaired to our home.
Antoine Hacot, a lawyer focused on property valuation and regulatory work, says increases like the one Dias got aren't considered normal. He says the city's modeling system uses data from similar properties that have sold. It doesn't take the situation of homes into account, including renovations, or in Dias's case, a lack of renovations.
So it makes it such that for some property owners with a property that clearly would sell less than the average of the computer modeling, they need to continuously appeal and continuously contact the city.
The city of Winnipeg says property owners have until April 10th to schedule calls to voice concerns. They can also discuss property value when they receive their final assessment in June. Applications for the Board of Revision can also be filed starting in June.
It opens up conversation, which is a very good thing, right? And we're here to talk to property owners and try to explain how assessments are, how we derive their assessment.
Dias worries about those who haven't been through the process before or can't spend as much time preparing their case.
If you don't understand the form, if you don't understand the process, you automatically accept the default valuation.
And he's exhausted, just thinking about having to go through it all over again. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
People in Brandon are getting some tax relief. City Council there approved a 6.7% property tax increase on the weekend. That's down significantly from the 10.6% first projected. Mayor Jeff Fawcett says $1 million in last-minute funding from the province and drawing from a municipal surplus help keep the increase lower. Major projects behind the spending include more than $50 million for water and wastewater treatment and $27 million for land drainage. Tenants in a business in a Wolseley building finally have heat after going without it for almost a month. The boiler ran out at 875 Westminster Avenue on January 4th. People in the 8 suites were running space heaters to warm up. One resident CBC News spoke with says crews on site were there all weekend to fix the boiler. Add to that, power also went out on Saturday, and the temperature in the suites was as low as 12 degrees. Bunny Cree Nation is mourning the death of their chief. News of Richard Hart's passing was shared on Saturday. The late chief is being remembered for his compassion and integrity. Indigenous organizations are also sharing their tributes about Hart. Manitoba Kiwatnawi Ogamakinak, or MKO, says the late chief dedicated his life to serve and uplift Bunny. Well, happy Groundhog Day. Meteorologist Colette Kennedy joins us now. Colette, our own weather prognosticator in Manitoba, got up early in frigid temperatures this morning to give us the news that we won't be getting an early spring.
Hey, Marjorie, I know, you know, what can we do other than hope that Manitoba Merv will be brave, right? Yeah, cross our fingers for that, or his handlers, I guess. But as we know, today he popped up, and was it an early spring? No, because he saw his shadow, was not so brave, got scared. So it's 6 more weeks of winter, or at least that's what is anticipated. As a scientist, I actually don't have a problem with this. I kind of like the folklore of it, and I like groundhogs too, and puppets as well. I just think 6 weeks is kind of an unusual thing that we use it everywhere. You know, they use it down in Pennsylvania, they use it on the East Coast. Probably, 6 weeks. We're going to have more winter than that almost always. I'm sorry to say. In the short term, here's what it looks like from the beginning of February. Minus 24 overnight tonight, feeling like minus 36. We do have some light snow that will develop. I think that will be kind of later morning, and especially towards the afternoon for the Red River Valley. Minus 20 in the morning, feeling like minus 28. And then there you go, minus 10. Still some of that light snow into the afternoon. What's to come after that, I'll let you know when I come back.
Thank you very much, Colette.
Tony Bet. Tony Bet, get treated like a VIP.
Well, they're everywhere. Sports betting ads are on our phones, computers, and TV screens, but only one site is legally allowed to operate in Manitoba. We'll have more on what a CBC investigation has found next. Sports betting ads have become inescapable. They're everywhere on our phones, computers, and TV screens. But so many of the gambling brands you see on your screens aren't actually allowed to operate in the province. Yet still, a CBC investigation found some of them are still accessible to people in Manitoba. CBC's Justin Fiacconi has more.
Haven't you had enough of these global betting behemoths coming into our backyard, glitzing and glamming their way into our pockets, thinking they know hockey? Femme tabouche!
We've seen these before. For years now, sports betting companies have glitzed and glammed their way onto your screens and into your homes.
Tony Bet.
It's before each game, at every intermission, and during halftime. And for Teddy Witowicz, a former gambling addict in recovery, they're an unwanted temptation.
You know, it's triggering. I found myself, like almost downloading the apps on my phone.
In Manitoba, there's only one legal online sports betting site. It's called Play Now, and it's run by a Crown corporation, Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries. Private for-profit sports betting apps are allowed to operate, but only in Ontario, which licenses them. But the fact they're only allowed to operate in Ontario hasn't prevented ads from being broadcast from coast to coast. Now, ads are one thing. Actually being able to place a bet is another. And so we put 5 popular sports betting sites to the test.
In bolded orange, they say unlimited betting across Canada.
TonyBet was one of 3 brands we successfully placed bets with. Their website says they offer a massive selection of betting markets in Canada.
The bet is $15. It says bet is successful.
The other 2 were Sports Interaction and TonyBet, whose virtual advertisements were displayed on the field of play during the national broadcast of this past year's Grey Cup in Manitoba. Visible to sports fans like Witowicz. He's still putting his life back together after his gambling addiction cost him relationships, friendships, and time with family.
I was living a life of lies. I was telling every different lie you could think of.
For Witowicz, it started a little bit at a time, with VLTs, then it escalated into online casinos and sports betting.
Near the end, it was, I could find a place any day, 24/7, to play online. Didn't even have to go and step foot into the store, didn't even have to step foot into a lounge, didn't have to leave my bed.
In response to our test, Sports Interaction said we have no comment on this issue at this time. As for TonyBet, no response despite multiple requests. And TonyBet? The company said they are a fully licensed and regulated platform incorporated in the Republic of Estonia. Glenn Simard is Manitoba's minister responsible for lotteries and online gambling. He says the province lost roughly $50 million in revenues last year to offshore gambling sites, and that the only way for Manitobans to bet safely is through the province's only legal betting site, Play Now.
All revenues generated by that platform stay in Manitoba. They go to help build hospitals, they go to help build our communities. And when you're choosing to bet on the illegal platforms, you're investing in Malta, Gibraltar, or somewhere in the Caribbean. Nobody knows.
As of right now, the province has won a court judgment banning Bodog, an illegal offshore site, from operating in the province. Simard hopes this serves as a deterrent to other offshore sites from making themselves accessible to people in Manitoba. However, as our tests have shown, some companies are still taking the gamble. Justin Fiacconi, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Well, up north, the community of Flin Flon officially opened its newest winter attraction, an event space made of snow and ice. They're calling it the Snow Lodge, and there are already plans to make it even bigger in the future. CBC's Eric Westhaver has more.
Let there be light!
Flin Flon's newest winter tradition has opened its doors. The grand opening of the Flin Flon Snow Lodge project took place January 31st. Hundreds visited the winter wonder and watched local performers. There's a pond hockey rink, trails, teepee teachings, and games, all part of the project. The lodge took weeks to build, but architect Peter Hargraves feels it's paid off.
We just wanted to do it once and get it done, and it's been done. Now it's a matter of just growing it to where we want it to be in the future.
Inside are ice blocks for sitting, a guest book to sign, even a bedroom. Hargraves stayed there after the reveal. Crystal Colt brought in artists and volunteers. She said the lodge is meant to be a celebration of the North.
Hopefully this is one of many years to come, but we did it.
Carver Doug Dimitru helped make art pieces inside the lodge. His favorite is a tribute he made to local firefighters.
It's a good community to be part of, it really is. Especially when they start doing stuff like this. This could go on forever.
The next step is to expand the lodge. Planners hope it can grow, maybe even becoming a full-fledged hotel. Dimitru said he wants to see people come see it before spring.
What they've done to the whole park, the whole facility is just really nice. The skating rink, they got tents set up, they got hot chocolate, they got coffee, they got whatever you want. Come on down. All good. Worth a drive up from Winnipeg even.
The locals are excited about the project. They see it as a way to bring tourists in during cold northern winters. In a few months, all this snow and ice will be melted, but there's already plans to redo this again next winter. Eric Westaver, CBC News, Flin Flon.
Okay, that hotel is cool, literally. Well, CBC weather specialist Riley Lachuk is off this week, but meteorologist Colette Kennedy joins us once again with a look at the forecast. Hi, Colette.
Thanks, Marjorie. You know, one thing I can say about weather is that it isn't always fair. I think we know that. And we could just look at the scenario of what's happening here across the prairies. And when you've got Alberta, a good chunk of it that's into the milder air, and even a portion of Saskatchewan. And then we get that defining line. I've got the jet stream on here, but the colder air on this side of things. So they've had a couple of days, and well, more than a couple, actually. Calgary, some really nice temperatures, above seasonal, above freezing, and tomorrow 9 degrees, but then as they go towards Wednesday, Thursday, they're probably going to be in the upper teens there. So maybe that's one place to visit, not just Manitoba, but stretching into northern Ontario and eastward. The Arctic blast, which has been blasting for several days, continues. So just checking out the afternoon temperatures. Yeah, even these readings on the cold side, a little below seasonal, not even taking into account yet the wind chills there. We do have that nice ridge of high pressure. It brings sunshine during the daylight hours. Clear skies tonight, but then things will be changing with this disturbance that's just to the west of us. So what really happens is we get into that increase in cloudiness pretty early on, and then eventually coming through the inner lakes, but down towards the Red River Valley as we move through the day, we'll get some of that light snow developing. It could be a bit earlier, like even mid-morning, but a better chance as we keep working our way through the day. Now, in terms of the amounts, nothing too significant. Northern prairies will be getting more significant snow, including into northern Manitoba, but that's more towards midweek. So with just dealing with the first disturbance and what we'll be seeing, we're talking about generally a centimeter or two, so not a whole bunch going on there. Our temperature profile tomorrow morning around -20, -17. Around the lunch hour, and then our daytime high, we should get, again, a little milder than today, up to about -10 with a light southerly breeze between about 10 and 20 kilometers per hour. So looking ahead into Wednesday, cloudy conditions here. Again, the system coming through, though, is mostly going to bring that snow further north with that component. Into Thursday, Friday, we do get into a nice mix of sun and cloud. The temperatures on Thursday, that's the day to look forward to, I would say, as we get above freezing for that daytime high, and then the cold front comes in and the temperatures drop right back down again, Marjorie.
Thank you very much, Colette. Yes, +2. We will take it. Well, we still have plenty more coming up after the break. Stay with us. You're watching CBC Winnipeg News.
CBC is proud to sponsor the Manitoba Chinese Business Gala to celebrate the Year of the Horse. Experience an evening of networking, food, performances, and awards on February 6th at Club Regent Event Center. Visit cbc.ca/community for details or email win@cbc.ca.
The latest release of millions of files related to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein has revealed his connection to more prominent public figures, and not just in the U.S. More royals in Britain and beyond have been named. Crystal Gamansing has details on that from London.
Invitations for tea in a royal residence and an inquiry about how to raise thousands of pounds for a rent payment. Emails believed to have been written by Sarah Ferguson, the former Duchess of York, to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein after his 2008 conviction related to prostituting minors.
You can see that she had absolutely no filter when it came to talking about her own members of her family. I mean, she describes, for instance, her daughter, Princess Eugenie, going off with a boyfriend on, and I quote, a shagging weekend.
While no wrongdoing has been indicated in Ferguson's emails, the same can't be said for her ex-husband and former prince, known now only as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. King Charles's younger brother labeled the creepy crawler by a British tabloid as new images surfaced in the latest cache of documents. There's no context for the picture of him hovering over a female, but lawyers for Epstein's victims tell BBC News there's new allegations involving the disgraced royal. CBC cannot independently verify those claims. They have not been proven in court, and the former prince has always denied any misconduct. Palace officials haven't said anything about the latest revelations, having previously stripped Andrew of his royal title. The British royal family aren't the only ones caught up in the latest round of Epstein files. Norwegian royalty are also implicated.
I think they were just lying to the public. So I find it really, really disturbing, actually.
Norwegian Crown Princess Mette Maret's name appeared nearly 1,000 times in the latest documents. In one email, she called Epstein such a sweetheart, prompting her to issue a statement admitting to poor judgment. Norway's prime minister said he too thinks it was poor judgment on the royals' behalf and is calling for an explanation into the extent of the princess's contact with Epstein. Crystal Gamansing, CBC News, London.
A new Canadian medical study says the number of young people being diagnosed with psychiatric disorders has risen dramatically over the last several decades, and marijuana use is a possible cause. Jennifer LaGrassa has more.
In his early 20s, Sean Heron was hearing voices, sometimes telling him to hurt himself.
I would start hearing what I thought was people talking to me through the vents.
After getting help, Heron was diagnosed with schizophrenia. He's part of a growing number of young people in Ontario with a psychotic disorder, according to new research in the Canadian Medical Association Journal.
A chronic psychotic disorder, it's characterized by having hallucinations. People can have intense delusions.
Researchers looked at Ontario health data from more than 12 million people born between 1960 to 2009. They found that diagnoses of psychotic disorders in those aged 14 to 20 increased over time. Specifically, when comparing 1997's cohort of 14 to 20-year-olds with that in 2023, the rate jumped by 60%. Researchers suspect this is a global trend.
We're finding people sooner with their psychotic symptoms and getting them care. But I don't think that explains the full picture.
Researchers think one other factor might be the increasing use of cannabis. Past research shows people under the age of 18 are at a higher risk of psychosis if they frequently use cannabis with high THC levels.
In males, we're seeing a younger age of onset and a stronger correlation to cannabis use.
This early psychosis intervention program is being overwhelmed with referrals and has a months-long waiting list.
This is a crisis, and we don't need to wait any longer to address it.
Heron was able to get the help he needed early.
I never really saw myself finishing school or even like getting a job.
Now at 27, he has graduated and is looking for work. He thinks cannabis played a role in his mental illness and wants young people to be more aware of how harmful it can be. Jennifer LaGrassa, CBC News, Windsor, Ontario.
The upcoming Milano Cortina Games are set to be the most spread out Winter Olympics of all time, taking place in 8 venues across thousands of square kilometers. While that's made these Olympics more sustainable, it's also created new challenges in getting audiences to the Games. CBC's Sarah Levitt has that story.
It's in their genes. The snow, the skis, just part of everyday life in Livigno, a small alpine town in northern Italy about to make it big, playing host to Olympic snowboarding and skiing.
For sure this part will help a lot and is a part of the history of the town that in the future for sure we will remember happily.
But the cross-country ski instructor admits not only does he expect his rental business to grind to a halt, he also isn't sure there will be many spectators making their way here. Milano Cortina is the most spread out Winter Olympics of all time. 8 venues across 22,000 square kilometers. Events will be held in Milan, Livigno, Cortina, and more. A way to use legacy venues like those from the Cortina Games in 1956 and to cut costs. The International Olympic Committee admits it hasn't been easy.
Initially, we all thought, oh, well, we'll just have it be a little bit more dispersed because that's more sustainable. Yes, that is very true, but it has added additional complexities.
We're in Bormio, home to alpine skiing and ski mountaineering competitions. It's 3 hours from Milan, and we still have another hour to go to get to Livigno. That is for people with a special pass. The steep switchback roads are easily navigated if there's good weather, not always a given in this mountainous terrain. And spectators coming from Milan will have to take a train and 2 buses to get there.
To create this unity of the team is something really important.
For the Canadian Olympic Committee, it's meant a lot of planning. We're speaking via video call because you're in Milan, I'm in Livigno. Does that speak to how complicated these games are?
It's a long process, like just the specific process for these games landing here. I look at these games winter, it's about 5 years of preparation. So when we get down to where we are right now, we're ready.
There won't be a Canada House or houses, instead a series of events in each location where Canadians can cheer on their athletes. Sarah Levitt, CBC News, Livigno, Italy.
Now, also on the horizon for the Olympics is the reality of climate change, not just for winter events, but all the games of the future. CBC News chief correspondent Adrian Arsenault spent some time in Italy in December and saw firsthand how it's all playing out.
Sometimes you have to go up to see what's up. And in the skies over the Olympic hub of Bormio in northern Italy,
you can see either man down.
What you see is the story of retreating and melting glaciers.
The summers are very warm, and so this creates the melt of all the snowpack.
Is that a little rock fall up ahead?
Yeah. That rocks are probably quite fresh.
These Italian Alps are warming at double the average of the rest of the world. Glaciologists like Claudio Artoni say in 20 years, most glaciers here will be gone. That's trouble for agriculture, drinking water, energy supplies, and also, frankly, for the reason we're looking at these mountains now, sport.
So you did a study about the future of the Olympic Games. What did it tell you?
Across all the destinations that had already the Olympic Games, we would have lesser hosts that could host the Games by mid-century if we take a medium scenario, probably between 10 and 12. And we will need also to adapt the concept of the games to the host and not vice versa.
The International Olympic Committee estimates in a few decades, nearly half the previous hosts of the Winter Olympics may not have the right climate conditions to ever host again.
This area here is not anymore snow.
Former Italian racer and coach Heinz-Peter Platter grew up in these mountains.
Before we could ski on the lower level, now we have to go higher, even 2,000, 3,000 meters. And this will, for the future, for the tourism here in the winter area, you have to go higher.
Adapting by moving to higher, colder elevations is pricey and a drain on energy. So some ideas near another Olympic hub, Livigno, one of the highest and biggest reservoirs in Europe just for snowmaking.
Think of it as a great big sink of water on top of the world. It will cool the water for the snowmaking, naturally, of course, and then it will flow down to the snowmaking machines using gravity, meaning a lot less energy is needed to get this water to those machines.
Further down the mountain, more innovations. A snow farm preserving what snow fell and was made last year for trails this year. Good approaches right now. Olympic watchers say enjoy these games as they are. It's hard to say how long it will all look like this. Adrienne Arsenault, CBC News, Livigno.
CBC is your host broadcaster for the Milano Cortina 2026 Games. That includes the opening ceremony, which is live on Friday, February 6th, this Friday, on CBC television. That means that during the Olympics, CBC Winnipeg News will move to 5 o'clock for a half-hour cast for the duration of the Olympics. Well, it's the viral fashion moment from heated rivalry. The cozy Sherpa jacket is a fan obsession, and now a Winnipeg studio is showing you how to make it yourself. More on that after the break. Stay with us.
Winter weather is in full swing, and on the prairies, poor driving conditions are a given. Here are a few things you should keep in your vehicle in case you get stuck. The first and most important thing, food and water. Think things that don't spoil. Energy bars. These are compact enough to keep in your glove box and they'll last a long time. And bottled water. And this is one of those times when plastic is your friend because these plastic bottles won't break even when they freeze. Also important, blankets and extra clothing. Think that old comforter that is taking up space in your closet. If you end up stuck in the ditch for a while, this will help keep you warm. As will extra toques and mitts for everybody in your vehicle. Every extra layer of clothing will help your body retain heat until help arrives. You should also have a first aid kit in your vehicle. Something basic like this will do. Just make sure it has something like a candle and some matches in it. And last but not least, some jumper cables, a tow rope, and a flashlight are always useful to have, especially if you get stuck in the dark. This will help emergency crews find you faster. Keeping all of these things handy and ideally within reach and not in the trunk will ensure you are safe if you're on the road for any length of time this winter.
The University of Manitoba has kicked off Black History Month with a first. This morning, the Pan-African flag was raised on campus. The red, black, and green flag represents Black liberation and solidarity. The student union's Black student representative says it means a lot to see the flag.
This flag isn't just symbolic, it represents visibility, recognition, and belonging. It's a reminder that Black students, staff, faculty, and community members belong on campus.
A number of events have been planned both on and off campus to celebrate Black History Month. A group of cyclists pedaled down the Nestawaya River Trail in Winnipeg Saturday for a memorial bike ride honoring the life of a Minneapolis man who was shot and killed by U.S. federal immigration agents last month. Organized bike rides were taking place across the world over the weekend, from Australia to Alaska, in memory of Alex Preddy.
You guys know we're all here for this memorial ride for Mr. Alex Preddy.
I think the gathering of people that we're getting today is a special opportunity to kind of speak to this. I think we have a number of people who, seeing somebody that looks like themselves, rides a bike that they ride and does the same kinds of events, makes it really hit close to home. Renee Good and Alex Preddy. We have a lot of people who maybe aren't used to mobilizing or being part of actions, who are finding this to be an opportunity to get involved in their own way.
There's no question that this was literally an execution. So that just said, we got to do something, we got to go join this memorial ride, and so it set up this to happen today.
It's crazy what's happening in the States, and is very close to home when you think about it. So, and the way they're going about it is just awful. And yeah, it's just has to stop somehow.
We stand with you. That's it. We're there with you. We understand what's happening, and we're there with you in solidarity.
It's devastating. It's devastating on many fronts. I mean, on the humanity side, here was a good Samaritan and putting his life on the line for other people and losing his life. I'm wanting to support the residents of Minneapolis and all of Minnesota and all of the other states, really, but Minneapolis, and for what devastation is going on.
Thanks, Marjorie. Yeah, I thought we'd take a closer look at kind of what's going on with the temperature profile between just a little further west, like how about 10 degrees in Calgary? Maybe you don't want to see it. Maybe I should hide that and cover it up compared to the readings, you know, we've been seeing in our neck of the woods, and that extends well into northern Ontario. And then you factor these wind chills in, feeling like minus 25 or colder. And then, in fact, our temperature is sliding to that tonight. So looking at wind chills around minus 35 in the core overnight hours tonight. So high pressure is in play, and that gives us the clearer skies through the overnight. But the clouds will be rapidly increasing as we push towards morning with the disturbance that's coming in. And with that, we'll kind of watch this area of precipitation sliding from northwest to southeast. And so we get some flurries to some light snow developing. Accumulations will be relatively light with that. So this is tomorrow. But then as we go towards Wednesday, this next bit of energy that comes in, at least for northern Manitoba, that's going to be more significant in terms of the accumulations we get into. So just that first system, 1 to 2 centimeters kind of coming through. Then let's roll this forward and show you what happens after that. We're not going to need to worry about it further south. It's just kind of north of the Inner Lakes or pushing from there northward where we're getting into approaching 5 centimeters, but 10 to 15 potentially there through Thompson. So look at the hour by hour just in the short term of what you can anticipate moving through the day tomorrow. Not bad, really, in terms of some of the temperatures for Flin Flon tomorrow afternoon at -8, Grand Rapids -6. Okay, we can deal with that, right? Tomorrow in the morning hours, yeah, we've got not only the temperatures, but the winds. So still looking at that wind chill that is dangerous, and frostbite in a very short period of time can develop. And then here comes the flurries and some of that light snow pushing in through the day as that develops. Okay, so let's end on a happy note in the snow, but this is Tango. Johanna, thank you for sending Tango in. I love the ears, the ears kind of dipping into the snow here as he moves along and makes his way. I imagine his legs are a little on the shorter side. Because of the temperatures, I put some yellow paws to start things off earlier in the day, and we're not going to worry too much about that light snow because it's so negligible. Marjorie?
Thank you very much, Colette. Well, if you're a fan of the Canadian TV phenomenon Heated Rivalry, you've probably had your eye on a specific and very cozy piece from the show's wardrobe, the fuzzy white fleece with red accents. Now a Winnipeg sewing studio is hopping on the bandwagon, offering fans the opportunity to make their very own version. CBC's Chloe Friesen has that story.
This white Sherpa jacket has fans of Heated Rivalry in a chokehold, and a Winnipeg sewing studio is cashing in on the craze.
I mean, it's a Sherpa jacket. Everybody needs a jacket for spring.
The Team Canada-inspired fleece is worn in just a couple of scenes of the hit hockey romance show, which has taken the internet and pop culture by storm.
Shane Hollander, I wanted to introduce myself. Okay.
And since the piece was made by the show's costume designer, you can't buy it anywhere. So crafty fans have taken it upon themselves to recreate it. But not everyone can do it on their own.
I am chronically online, and so a lot of people were trying to where can we find the Sherpa jacket? Or trying to make their own, and that's kind of when I approached Beth and being like, hey, maybe we need to do a class.
Beth Cernick and Jillian McDonnell are the co-owners of Lilacs Studio, a sewing shop that offers classes for all skill levels.
It took a week to sign up 10 people. Yeah, 10 people, and we've already posted another class as well.
Okay, here it is.
Yes.
Can I put it on?
Yes, for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna be Shane Hollander.
Let's talk about some of the details here.
Yes, for sure. So looking at the picture, I could tell that it was a raglan sleeve jacket. So instead of a regular sleeve, it kind of goes across here and across the back. Do you want to zip it up?
I would love to. Okay, yeah, look at the red on the zipper.
Yeah, and then we have the red detail around the collar, which is classic to the Shane Hollander jacket. And then we also have the 3 zipper pockets.
So in the show, there's patches,
yes,
right? So there's the
maple leaves on the sides, yeah.
And then is there something on the back?
Yeah, there's the Canada across the back of the jacket.
Right.
And we have a local embroiderer making us the Canadian letters so that people, for an additional price, they can applicate Canada on the back.
That's
so fun.
Stay true to the cosplay of the jacket.
For the class, it's going to take about 6 hours. And again, it really depends on people's skill level. You know, if they haven't worked with a lot of zippers, that might be a little challenging for them.
Okay, so you've got a lot of Sherpa.
Yes, so we special ordered this in specifically for the jacket.
And you have 2 color options, and I love what you named them. Okay, what color is this?
This is Jane Ivory, and then we have Lily Black. So you can have Shane Hollander or Elena Rosanova. Oh. I know, it's very, very cozy.
I can't wait to just see Winnipeg just decked out in these. Everybody's going to be walking around.
They're going to be at whiteout parties in their Shane Hollander jackets.
The studio has 3 classes planned so far, one of them already sold out, but they're ready to ride the heated rivalry wave and add more if the demand continues. Mostly, they hope it will encourage more young people to take up sewing as a hobby.
You see something online, and of course you just want to emulate them, right? So yeah, I think this is a great start.
Excited to face off with their sewing machines and show off their new threads. Chloe Friesen, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Even though you can't buy the official fleece yet, the creators of Heated Rivalry have struck a deal with clothing brand Province of Canada to produce and sell the famous fleece. The release date is to be determined. Well, still ahead, Colette Kennedy is back with a last check at the weather. You're watching CBC Winnipeg News. The Canadian Women's Curling Championship was held last night and it involved 2 Manitoba teams.
Falling line. Stay with it. Burchard staying with it now. Have you got this angle to get shot rock? Have you got it? Oh, she does! The shot of a champion.
Carrie Anerson's Team Canada won the top prize in women's curling. Her team, based out of Camp Mourning, Manitoba, beat Caitlin Laws of Winnipeg to win this year's Scotties Tournament of Hearts in Mississauga. Anerson represented Team Canada this year because last year's winners, the Rachel Homan rink, are in Italy preparing for the Olympic Games. This is Anerson's 5th Scotties title in her career.
Welcome back. Well, if you haven't heard, Manitoba Merv saw his shadow and got scared and says there's 6 more weeks of winter, but there probably was going to be anyway. But it's just how much winter? How cold? What are we looking at? Well, let's just deal with kind of this week, shall we? After a cold night tonight, minus 24 to minus 25, feeling like close to minus 35. We're talking about a daytime high of minus 10 with some flurries to very, very light snow, centimeter or 2. Look at Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud, and we get our daytime high up above the freezing mark. So there's a day to look forward to, and that's after a mild night, Wednesday night, and then the cold air is going to settle back in, at least pretty much for a few days, and Marjorie brings some clouds in as we head towards the weekend as well.
All right, thanks very much, Colette. Well, as Colette mentioned, today is Groundhog Day, but whether we're going to see an early spring or 6 more weeks of winter depends on which critter you want to get your forecast from. Here is your daily lift.
Again, the crier's bell did ring. Yes, Willie predicts. Now hear this. It's an early spring.
For those who are sick of winter and ready to see spring, you'll be happy to know that Wyerton Willie in Ontario, Shubenacadie Sam and Lucy the Lobster in Nova Scotia, and Fred the Marmot in Quebec say that the warm weather will arrive early. However, Puxatawny Phil in the U.S., and as you heard, our very own Manitoba Merv, did see their shadow and predicted 6 more weeks of winter. So depending on who your favorite prognosticating animal is, today's news is good or bad. I'm going with the majority here. They ruled an early spring. Thanks for joining us. Have a good evening.